If the power grid collapsed tomorrow, your $70,000 modern truck wouldn't slowly break down, it wouldn't give you warning lights, it wouldn't even give you a chance to react. It would just die. Instantly. A 5,000-pound metal box turned into a silent trap sitting in the middle of the road. No ignition, no dashboard, no windows, no communication, nothing. And while most people are still arguing about horsepower, infotainment screens, and monthly payments, a small group of mechanics and preppers are focused on something very different: survival. Because in a true grid-down scenario, the most valuable vehicle on Earth won't be the newest one. It will be the oldest one that still understands how to function without a computer. Today, we are breaking down the so-called pre-OBD loophole and the only 3 trucks that actually matter when everything else stops working. Modern trucks are not just vehicles anymore. They are computers on wheels. The average 2026 pickup contains over 100 electronic control modules. Everything is digital. Electronic fuel injection, electronic steering, electronic transmission control, push-button ignition, and security systems that can literally disable the engine if they detect the wrong signal. And here's the part nobody likes to think about. If a large-scale EMP event, a severe solar flare, or even a coordinated cyber attack ever hits critical infrastructure, those delicate circuits don't just malfunction, they burn out permanently. And at that moment, your advanced off-road beast becomes completely useless. You won't be driving at home. You won't even be rolling down the window to get fresh air. You'll just be stuck. Meanwhile, somewhere down the road, a 30-year-old truck with no screen, no software, and no subscription service is still running like nothing happened. That's the pre-OBD loophole. Before 1996, vehicles in the United States were not required to use full standardized onboard diagnostic systems. That single regulation changed everything. After OBD2 became mandatory, cars transitioned into tightly controlled digital ecosystems. But before that shift, manufacturers still built machines that relied on something far more reliable than code. Mechanical engineering. No ECUs, no immobilizers, no software locks, just fuel, air, compression, and spark. And out of that forgotten era, 3 trucks stand above everything else when it comes to survival potential. The first one is the undisputed king of grid-down capability, the 1989 to 1998 Dodge Ram equipped with the legendary 12-valve Cummins diesel engine. This isn't just a truck. In survival circles, it's considered the holy grail. The 12-valve Cummins, especially the 1994 to 1998 models with the Bosch P7100 mechanical injection pump, operates on pure mechanical timing. No computer tells it when to fire fuel. The pump is gear-driven directly from the engine. That means the engine doesn't care if the grid exists or not. In fact, once it's running, it barely needs electricity at all. There is only one critical electrical component, the fuel shutoff solenoid. And that is where things get interesting. In a worst-case EMP scenario, if that solenoid fails or is fried, the engine doesn't become useless. You don't need a dealership. You don't need a scanner. You don't even need wiring diagrams. You manually override it. A simple mechanical pull on the shutoff lever, even with something as basic as a shoelace or wire, can allow the engine to start and continue running until the fuel tank is empty. No software, no authentication, no digital dependency. That's the difference between survival and being stranded. Now, people always bring up the Ford 7.3 Power Stroke. And yes, it's a legend in its own right. One of the most respected diesel engines ever built. But it still relies on an electronic control system and hydraulically actuated electronic injectors. That means if the control module gets fried, the engine doesn't care how strong it is. It's done. Not broken. Not repairable roadside. Just dead. The Cummins doesn't have that weakness. It doesn't negotiate with electricity. It simply runs. But not everyone wants or needs a diesel, especially in a long-term disruption scenario where fuel quality becomes unpredictable. That's where the second truck enters the list. The 1987 to 1996 Ford F-150 OBS with the 4.9-liter inline-6, also known as the 300 cubic inch engine. This engine has a reputation that almost sounds exaggerated until you understand how it's built. The Ford 300 inline-six is one of the most overbuilt gasoline engines ever mass-produced. And it uses a simple design philosophy that modern engineering has completely abandoned: make it slow, make it heavy, and make it nearly impossible to destroy. There are no complicated timing belts waiting to snap at the worst possible moment. Instead, it uses durable mechanical timing components designed for long-term industrial use. This engine was so reliable that Ford used variations of it in commercial fleets, generators, agricultural equipment, and industrial machines that were expected to run for decades. It produces low-end torque instead of speed, which is exactly what matters when civilization isn't functioning normally anymore. You don't need a truck that wins drag races. You need a truck that drags fallen trees out of the road, pulls heavy loads without complaining, and starts even after sitting for long periods without perfect maintenance. If paired with a manual transmission, the system becomes even more reliable. No transmission computers, no shift logic modules, just mechanical engagement. It's not glamorous, it's not fast, but it is dependable in a way modern trucks simply are not designed to be anymore. And then we come to the third vehicle, the one that has earned its reputation in the most extreme environments on Earth. The Toyota pickup from the 1980s to early 1990s, commonly known globally as the Hilux, specifically the carbureted 22R engine. Not the 22RE. The E matters because that stands for electronic fuel injection, and electronics are exactly what we are avoiding here. The 22R is pure mechanical simplicity, a carburetor system that mixes fuel and air using physics alone. No sensors, no computer corrections, no dependency on electrical signals to function properly. This engine became famous worldwide for a reason. It has been used in deserts, mountains, war zones, and remote regions where repair shops don't exist. And it keeps running under conditions that would destroy most modern vehicles. If something goes wrong, you don't need specialized diagnostic equipment. You need basic tools, mechanical intuition, and a willingness to get your hands dirty. That's it. A hammer, a screwdriver, maybe some duct tape, and you can often get it running again. The rest of the truck is just as simple. Lightweight frame, basic drivetrain, and mechanical 4x4 systems that don't rely on electronic engagement switches. It's not just a vehicle, it's a survival tool disguised as transportation. Here's the uncomfortable truth behind all of this. Modern trucks are built for a fully connected world, meaning they depend on software updates, emission systems, digital verification, and manufacturer-controlled ecosystems. Even basic repairs now require diagnostic tools, subscriptions, and dealer authorization. In a stable world, that feels convenient. But in an unstable one, it becomes a serious vulnerability, because ownership is shifting from individuals to systems you don't control. Older trucks represent the opposite: true mechanical independence. The 12-valve Cummins runs without servers, the Ford 300 doesn't need updates, and the Toyota 22R doesn't ask for permission. They operate purely on physics, not software. That's why they are disappearing fast, collected by mechanics and preppers for survival, not nostalgia. The message is simple. Modern trucks offer comfort, but older trucks offer freedom. And when the grid fails, only one of those actually matters.